Dude, can I ask you a question? I
Yeah.
mean, do you follow like you were there for the store guys when they came through,
Mhm.
obviously, but I'm wondering if you follow other bits of the culture that maybe are a little more peripheral in your world that are like, maybe some of that like that Capstone video came out. Do you hear about Capstone coming out? And
Watched
do
it
you
last
watch it?
night.
Did you watch it? Okay, see,
I'm
this is great.
deep.
I want to hear. Yeah, you're deep. That's why I was like, I think you're pretty deep in this.
Yeah.
So, can I get your reaction to the Capstone video since
Yes.
since it's so topical?
Was a big showing last night at the McQueen house.
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Three of us rolling deep on the couch watching the England project, and
Nice.
it was amazing. We loved it so much. And I will say this, we watched another unnamed video we hadn't seen yet afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And after it, and it was fine. But, afterwards, my son said, honestly, I would have liked to have watched Capstone England twice
Yeah.
and not have watched the other one because
Yeah,
Capstone England was so good.
There was like 2 or 3 videos that came out yesterday in the like of people that I subscribe to in the
Yeah.
community, and I was just like, all these people that I'm watching after Capstone is just sorry. It just doesn't
so
like you should have
good.
published on a different day because
Yeah.
it was really that next level, and it was super epic to watch.
Yeah, I will tell you this, and it was funny because I actually went rock climbing with Max and Christine this week, and we were talking about who we like to watch move.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Scandrett is pretty much my number one person.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah, I love Joe.
he's
His reactions, I love him behind the camera as
Yes.
much as I love him in front of the camera.
so one, he always seems like he's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love those guys to a certain extent. I feel like Phil is the same way. Philly D.
Phil
he
is
always
never. Yeah, he's just the exemplary human being.
Yeah.
He's just always like just
laughing and
just having a great
fun
time.
and
Yeah.
kind of on. I feel like they almost have a perspective of how silly all this is that we're
Mm-hmm.
doing, and like just
Yeah.
it's awesome. And plus, Joe just is so creative. Some of the stuff he comes up with. I think on the video last night he does a Kong into wrapping his torso around the light post and then
I
sliding.
think it was a step vault technically, but
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I had to rewind. My fingers were on the fucking, excuse my language,
Yep.
the J button. I don't know if you know, here's a pro tip for everyone watching YouTube. The letter J rewinds 10 seconds. K pauses, L forward 10 seconds. My fingers were just hovering over those
Yeah.
the entire time because I kept having to go, whoa, I need to see that again.
Yeah.
I need to see that again. And like, oh my God, that was one of the things I replayed like 4 or 5 times
was
because
the
I
one
wanted to
too-
see how he did it. I loved that.
At the start, and I'm not sure who did it. It was the very start that we had to rewind and rewatch when he goes over and then does the shoe slide down the banister and then
Oh yeah, Giannis.
yeah that whole thing,
That
just
was
the
legend.
creativity
Yeah.
like
He's
in that.
yeah. I mean, every one of those guys on the roster is innovative,
Yeah.
like to
Toby
the highest
Berkey,
level.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was so crazy to see.
Yeah, it's so I started about it's probably been 6 months ago now. Mark Turok with APK came to town to disassemble the formerly
quad.
Apex backyard quad.
Yeah.
And I know, never Apex backyard quad, but we had it in the backyard for a while.
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
So
I never even got to check it out, honestly.
oh no, I spent much time on the quad. So it was the first time Mark and I had met in person, and he ended up hiring me to do some part-time work for APK. And I will say that every now and then we'll be having like a phone conference, and we'll have a couple of the other APK guys on. And I get off and I'm like, how do I know so much about parkour at this point? Like,
That is legendary.
I'm in there and I'm, saying, okay, well, did you guys just see that video of the street competition they had in England? Because like,
That is so good.
yeah,
Well, that's even more inspiring. It's another dimension of inspiring. The fact that you are a nerd about it like I am, and like so many of us are.
yeah,
Because it's not easy to necessarily accept that idea that like, that content, they're not thinking maybe of you
No.
when they're making it,
Yep.
but you're loving it just as much as any one of us.
Yeah.
And so it's
yeah.
And that is the, just to circle back for a second, that is the truth of like making it your whole world, is like this stuff does cross time and generations in terms of like its impact.
Yeah.
And so that is the beauty of just, you know, making it your world sometimes.
Yeah. And I would also, I mean, you see it all the time with parents of kids who play like mainstream sports like baseball and football. And those parents are super into the sport and know all the players and can talk about it with their kids.
Yeah.
But when your kid gets into some more obscure sports, I feel like the parents don't always have that same level of appreciation and knowledge. Although I already mentioned this to you earlier before we were recording, I've actually supplanted my children where they're just like, oh, we're so sick of parkour now. Shut up.
Yes. We got one.
Yes.
Even more invested than
Yes.
than the initial investor. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, when I'm the one who's like, hey, did you see that video that dropped today? And they're like, no, we have lives, Mom.
Oh my God. Yes.